one of the egregious errors we made, Nigerians generally, even the media, in 2022, 2023, was that we did not subject the candidates to deeper scrutiny, putting their feet to the fire, as it were.
Yeah.
What are your plans for this country? Who are you? So we had a candidate, Bola Tinubu, that did not speak to the media at all. And if he still found his way to become president, and we're living the after effects of that. Now, Peter Obi has been accused of a lot of things. But 3 issues. Number one, leadership. That is weak. He cannot even rein in obedience. He cannot give them instructions and they listen to him. Rather, they are the ones dictating to him.
Two different things. These are, you say obedient members are more like volunteers. We have seen in Peter Obi qualities that can produce qualities that can turn around this country if and when we make him the president of Nigeria.
Okay.
So this is their belief. Peter Obi does not control them. He doesn't have any
kind of a weakness.
No, it's not, because, okay, like the kids, the young people now that are telling their parents back home, we want to vote for Peter Obi. They are volunteers. They come out to buy their own t-shirt and all that. If you go and, okay, that was something that Atiku said once, whether it was when he was talking to us or I even saw it on YouTube, that they went to Port Harcourt once for a campaign. And then by the time they got into the stadium was almost empty. And he asked Peter Odili, the then governor, where are the people? He said, they are gone. We paid them for 3 hours. And it's been over 3 hours. But Peter Obi will never pay anybody to come for rally. In his rallies, you don't see buses. I was in the PDP. We are usually told, okay, from your constituency, bring 5 buses. Multiply that by, we're talking about the Homer buses. Yeah. Bring 5 buses. People will come with placard and order. We pay people to carry placard. It used to be 5,000. Later, they will say if it's not 6,000 or 7,000, they will not go. You pay to carry them there, yeah, the transport, and then you pay the money just to raise that placard. Some will throw away the placard even after the rally. You need the placard for another rally. They throw it away, but they will collect their money. So Peter Obi won't do that. I remember in Nasarawa, I saw the Nasarawa state governor on television saying that they gave them one small place, one primary school field. They could not park it out. Who won Nasarawa state in presidential election? Peter Obi. Even in Rivers, I heard then the then governor also said the same thing. That they wanted to give them the Adoke Amasamaka Stadium. They said it's too big. No, just give us a small one. They gave them Liberty Stadium, that's now called Yakubu Gowon Stadium on Stadium Road or Lekaya. Then they came there. They couldn't park it out. They had canopy of people on the pitch. These were organic followers. Nobody was paid to come there. People heard that Peter Obi was coming to town. They left their shops and left whatever they were doing to come there and listen to him. Not compared to the party in government that will pay people. Do they pay people? Yes, I know. We used to pay for people to come out so that you see the crowd. But Peter Obi won't do that. This country you're talking about is anger. We don't even want anybody that will control us. With the relationship I have with Peter Obi today, we spoke. For me, when I was in ADC, I wasn't planning to run. I wasn't. When he joined ADC, NDC, I sent a message to say, oh, I'm also out of the country, but absolutely I'm with you. I've resigned from another platform. I'm already here and all that. He called me and we spoke. That is how I became interested in running for the office. But I cannot sit down here and tell you that he didn't mention me to the national leader. But at the end of the day, it's the decision of the national leader to make concerning whether I get the ticket or not. But this is where I'm going to. When people say, he's not fighting for his people, he's not doing that. It's the same control we are talking about that most of these people have over those that were emerged. Just allow the process. People accuse him of, okay, show us how many people he has made. His former commissioners, former advisors. Why should he make anyone? That's a corrupt process. If you are given a platform to work, work. If you earn it, take it to another level. So when you are a governor, you are giving land out. The man said when he was governor of Anambra State, he never allocated one piece of land to himself. If I might just add this, I think that was the former, is it governor, I think in the 60s, or Kaduna, who said they applied for land, and then when the director general or the permanent secretary brought the list, his name was not there. And he asked the guy, I applied for this, why is my name not there? And the man said, look, Renkedede, you are the approving authority. Your name shouldn't be there. And he took it like that.
Yeah.
That's what the 60. That's who Obi is today. And that's what Nigerians are yearning for.
Well, there's no debate about Obi's discipline, you know, as what's the word I'm looking for? Frugality, austere, you know, lifestyle. There's no question. Okay, so I posed the first question on his leadership competence, you know, ability to control, you know, well, not maybe not control, but, you know, lay the law down. But second issue is this, that in all the, you know, questions people are asking, I summarize them into three. So the first one is leadership. Number two, Peter Obi said over the weekend, he was in Washington, and he said, no, he cannot know Nigeria's problem until he is sworn in. Then he will tour Nigeria, all the states, like maybe 1 year, and then he will now be able to diagnose the problems. You know, we had a president in this country who won election in 2015 and spent 6 months taking notes from PAMSEX. Before the man realized what was going, he had wasted 8 years of his presidency. How do you respond to this?
Put it in context. It depends on what the question was and the context in which he gave that answer.
Yes.
Because people will tell you today, the only man that has been going around the country since the 2023 election is Peter Obi, going to higher institutions, supporting them from his personal resources, going to nursing schools and nursing.
Why is he saying he does not know Nigeria?
That's what I'm saying, is the context, because he knows the problem. He has even addressed the crowd to say, look, I am not one that sits down in one place or that will go to the villa and sit down there. I'm on the street. Even after electing me, I will still be on the street. So he knows the problem. He's been a governor. He knows. And he's still moving about. That's what I'm saying. It depends on the context in which he was answering that. But if anybody knows the problem of Nigerians today or Nigeria, it's Peter Obi. Because he's out there on the street. He goes to IDP camp. Some governors are fighting with him. You remember my governor said the time he said he should come into, when he made that statement, he should come, that the last time he came, how many people died? Did they die because people were shooting them? Because they are mass followers. People want to see him. And I said, don't come to our state anymore. If he was not going around, would they be saying, don't come to our state? So I don't think it's because he doesn't know. He knows. He's one president that will hit the ground running. I can tell you, before he's sworn in, he will have the list of his ministers and advisors ready for the National Assembly.
What do you see for 2027? What do you see? All this PRP, we have Donald Duke, ADC Atiku Abubakar, he has not nominated a VP. Of course, Peter Obi has Kwakwanso. Bola Tinubu, we're not sure because Daniel Bola sat here and I asked him, is he running with Kashim Shettima? He said no, that he cannot speak for the president until the president confirms. What do you think? Who stands the best chance? Don't tell me Peter Obi. Assess them. Who stands the best chance?
I heard that Atiku has nominated Rotimi Amaechi. But that would be a strong ticket. For Donald Duke, I don't know if he will be able to win any state. But you also have to look at what's on ground. Even his state, he's popular there. Because somebody told me that during the NSAS, you know, they were burning houses, that of Udoma Egba, that of Gershom Bassi, and so many. And then, when that started, he came out and addressed the youths, and they went in, they went to the houses. That's good. But was he able to deliver that state for any political party? I don't think so. So, I cannot sit down here today and tell you, Peter Obi won that state, if you remember, in 2023, that at best they will share the votes in that state, in Cross River. Same thing for Rotimi Amaechi. I don't see Rotimi Amaechi even as a running mate to Atiku, delivering River State to Atiku.
Why?
Because you have strong characters.
Amaechi was a former governor, two-term minister.
Yeah,
and he has massive support, and he did very well he did not just very well, fantastically well.
I know so. He started most of the dualization. Exactly. I mean, I live in that place.
Exactly.
And I've even told him this to his face, you know. But we are talking about today's reality. So I don't see how, that's what the last time I talked about, having a free, fair, and credible election. So it's difficult for us to really assess some of these things now, if we cannot have free, fair, and credible election. Ordinarily, if you leave it to all to fight in a level playing field, you allow it for a level playing field, he will not be able to outrightly win River State. You know something about, somebody told me then that you did a lot while you were in the House of Reps. You did a lot. You had the scholarship, you had the foundation that was running for years before you were elected, and it kept running. In every home in your constituency, Your notebooks enter, you enroll NECO for people, everybody. You are known by everybody. You say, but over time, people will begin to forget that. People have short memory span. They are thinking about today. He's been out of power in Rivers State, going to 12 years, 13 years, you say. So, or 11 years. So it's easy for people to forget some of those things. And it's not so easy to carry members or your supporters along for that long. That's what you talk about, the obedience, whether Obi cannot rein them in. As long as you are not investing in them, you are not sending money for recharge card and the hospital bills, and it's not easy to carry them along. So most of them would have been wicked supporters today, and maybe other political parties. But we have a huge number of Igbos in Rivers State, huge number of them. If you allow them to even vote alone, it will go a long way. Besides the fact that you have other ethnic groups in Rivers. There are other Riverians or River State people that are leaning, are obedient. I know of a lady in Rivers State in that 2023 election. She used to work somewhere that I know. And she said, where I registered, I don't live there anymore. It's my sister's place and all that. I don't have transport money to. I sent her money, more than enough, to stay. If you need to take care of yourself in your sister's house, and then vote, and then to return home. I don't vote in River State. But that was just me encouraging somebody. And that's a River State person, not an Igbo person. So, Obi will still do well if they allow. If not, win outright.
So you don't think Rotimi Amaechi now, on the ticket of the ADC, pairing with Atiku, will deliver South-South, Akwa Ibom, Cross River, Edo, Delta, Rivers, of course? You don't think so?
Just the way Okowa delivered it.
They are two different people.
He cannot.
No. Okowa's choice was a strategic blunder. On hindsight, even though some of us knew then, but at least now it was, because even by his personality, compare and contrast the personalities of these two individuals.
He cannot win River State.
Okay.
I repeat that.
But I beg to differ with you, but let's leave that. Give us that. So, the other candidates.
Okay. So, who is going to vote for Atiku in the South? I don't see anybody voting for Atiku.
Are you serious?
That's true.
Atiku has widespread.
2019, we were articulated, because I was on ticket with him. We were articulated, and he won. But that sentiment is gone, has changed. The question people keep asking is, why him? He caused the trouble in PDP in the 2022 primary election.
Did he?
Yes.
How?
Because in 2019, okay, let's even go back. This is not personal. I respect the man.
Yeah.
In 2015 or 14, you remember he walked away from in Eagle Square with some governors and all that. They went to join the APC as a new PDP.
Yes.
And then what happened? He contested the primaries with Buhari.
Yep.
Of course, Tinubu knew what he wanted because he was planning for today. And then they edged him out. Then he came back. That same party he removed from office with his men came back to the PDP. They gave him the ticket in 2019. Yeah, maybe he won that election. Because what was the argument then? There's a northerner there. So no southerner can take him out. So let a northerner go. But in 2022, that changed. Because then, remember, he chose Peter Obi as his running mate. And he got a huge vote from the South. Then, in 2022, I would have thought he would take the man he believed in, that worked with him, to say, okay, fine, you run, I will be the leader of the party, I will support you. He didn't do that. Now, it was zoning, he was supposed to be favored the South, he was supposed to go to the South. He still came out, because of him, PDP refused to zone. I remember down there, Boala, then, was in APC. See, PDP, they don't have any other person outside Atiku. Atiku will get the ticket. That was before he got the ticket, and he got the ticket. That was when the PDP Wahala or crisis started. Now, he came to ADC, I'm sure you heard people mounting it, that is his party, he's the one that will get the ticket. True to type, he had gotten the ticket now. But this is again the time people are saying, just allow the South to finish their turn.
My brother, is it not unfair to say it's Atiku's party, he would always win? He squared off against two other prominent Nigerians, and they won the ticket. So are you not being, uncharitable to the man?
I wasn't the one that said that. Because by the time he was running, I had left the party. People kept telling us Are you sure these people are wasting your time? They will not give Obi the ticket. It's Atiku that will get the ticket. Is his party is majorly behind the party and all. I mean, he's the promoter, so to speak. You know, and that played out. So it did surprise me because people already said that. I was just hoping against hope that the man will get to a point when he will say, "Hey, I want the younger men to go. Then I will lead them." He never said.
Can anybody deny any man or woman, for that matter, to aspire for anything? It is left for the people to decide. Donald Trump is old. President Tinubu, some have medical professor of medicine sat here and told me he's old, that we should add 12 years to his age. So, and President Trump, seems to be, the more he gets old by the calendar, the more he seems to be more energized, standing on his feet, answering questions from reporters every day, non-stop, doing interviews non-stop. Do you fault that? How do you argue against that?
It's not the same. I told you I read.
Does Atiku have any health issue that you know about?
No. See, age will naturally, it will come, will take its toll. If you don't sleep for 3 days now, on the 4th day, you'll be struggling to put a sentence together. But 30 years ago, 40 years ago, you can be awake for 4 days and you'll still be bouncing. People, the youth in my constituency do that. The last day of the campaign, when we are preparing for election, they start playing music in my compound. Then on the eve, into the election day, they will dance all through the night and say, okay, we'll go to the field. From the field, they will, after voting, they will escort it. Almost 3 days they are awake. But I can't do that today.
Let's round up on this.
Yes.
As we speak here, 90 or 95% of the candidates for presidency are from the southern part of Nigeria.
Yes.
All of them, presidential candidates, except Atiku from the north, standing alone from the north. How do you think all these guys from the south, who are going to splinter their votes, Tinubu APC will splinter his votes with Peter Obi from the southeast, Donald from the south-south, Adebayo Adewale from the southwest, Seyi Makinde from the southwest. I could go on, Omoyele Sowore from the southwest. All of them are going to, share these votes from them. Atiku alone is standing in the north. And the north, traditionally, has the bulk votes. How do you interpret this for us, or interrogate it?
Like how many votes can Sowore take from Tinubu?
Okay.
How many can the SDP guy, who I like him a lot? Yeah. How many votes can he take from Tinubu? Then talking about the south and the southeast. Again, let's emphasize it is a free and fair election that's not monetized. Peter Obi any day will win the southeast and the south. Any day. Yeah, maybe Tinubu can take some votes. Rotimi Amaechi, can take some votes. Yeah, if you Seyi Makinde from the southwest can take some votes. But it will not scratch the surface. Then you talk about there's no homogeneous north. Now you have the middle belt. I'm not talking about so much of the north center, the middle belt. Those ones are not likely to vote for Atiku. You can talk about the core north. So if you take that, with the vote from the core north alone, see him through? No. Buhari had those votes. And people were even more energized then because the same belief we have about Peter Obi was what they had about Buhari, that he's not corrupt and all that. But he could not cross the Niger till he had a handshake from Tinubu. So Atiku not having votes in the south would disadvantage him, especially the fact that even the north, he can't get enough vote from the middle belt to win. So he might be the only person standing, but how many of those votes? Now you have Kwankwaso. Can you really tell me that Kwankwaso cannot deliver even Kano or Jigawa? If he doesn't deliver those states, the minimum he will take away from there is 25%. Peter Obi on his own will take 25% of the votes in Kaduna without even Kwankwaso. So your next president is Peter Obi, whether we like it or not. He is. I can see the roadmap. Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the president of Nigeria today, does not have a pathway to go back to the villa unless they do otherwise.
2 or 34 governors, senators, and reps.
Then, you see, let that be free and fair election. I said this in April when we had World Press Conference. Former members. That was in April. I said, look, these people should not truncate this democracy. And I said, we had G34 that went to see Abacha then. And they were largely people that later formed PDP, led by Solomon La and the rest of them. Say, look, we want civil rule, hand over to civilians. Organize an election, hand over to civilians. They went there, they gave him a letter. Nobody in APC today went with that group. So I'm saying they did not fight for this democracy. Forget about what they claim other people did before. I don't believe in what these things they said they did before. Because today they say they're Democrats. We can't see it. So what I said then is, before 1999, even 1999, what was their net worth? I said all this that day. What I was saying it is, you had the opportunity to get to where you are today. Don't mess it up. Because I don't think any of them had more than him, had anything close to $1 million then. I said in 1999, I know what I was doing. I had contract with 2 oil majors, IOCs, worth over $1 million. In 1999, I had a visa from China. I did not appear in the embassy. A staff of mine, who is the general manager in Total today, went to collect the passport with the visa from the CNPC, that's Chinese National Petroleum Company. The guy used to stay in Eco Hotel. Went to collect the passport with the visa stamped for me to go to China. I still didn't go because we're looking for rigs. I used to hear this guy, the former Minister of Communication or Information, Lai Mohammed, say in 2014 and 2015, that Nigeria was a pariah nation. It wasn't. We had an elected government. In 1998, 1999, we could not get rigs from America or from Europe. That's how we started going to China. So I'm saying this to say, I know what I was worth then. I know what I was doing then. These people, what were they doing then? What was their net worth? Okay. So if they had the opportunity, they had the country where they can become who they are today, don't mess it up for the younger people. Okay. Most of them were in their 40s, in their 30s. Look at where they are today. So allow for free, fair, credible election so that Nigerians will not decide who they will elect. And if you do that, we will not be having this conversation today. Okay.
The article, people will tell you that it will lock down. It has, not that he will, he already has Northwest locked down. That's the highest registered voters in Nigeria on INEC registered by data. Northwest, he has it on lockdown. He's from the Northeast, so he has that on lockdown as well. And that by the choice of Rotimi Amaechi, South, he would get at least 60% of the votes there. And then, of course, he would do well in the North Central. Is that article not home and dry?
It's not. Not nearly. He will get vote from the South. The entire South. I'm telling you this.
Not even 25%.
He will not. Where? Which state?
Rivers State.
If there's free and fair election.
Bayelsa.
Maybe where in Bayelsa? Maybe if there's free and fair election. Yes, maybe he might get 25% in Rivers State, but he cannot win Rivers State.
Okay, let's.
He cannot.
We will diagnose this one. But final question. Yes. Just for the sake of argument, this conversation, assuming Peter Obi wins against all the odds, as daunting as they are, he wins, becomes president. But then you have the same governors by all the parties, same senators, same reps, same civil servants. What changes?
Assuming he wins.
Yes, assuming he wins.
Everything will change.
By just one man.
Yes, because the governors, the man has said, as long as I'm on top, yes, I am not taking, nobody will take. The greatest challenge we have now is the fact that when you have permanent secretaries leaving office and contesting for election immediately, nobody is respecting the Procurement Act of 2007. Nobody is respecting the, what's the other one now?
Code of Conduct Bureau or whatever.
They are not respecting any of those things. The Constitution is the ground norm, Section 1, Sub 1. But today they are not respecting, I try to remember the particular one, where you are supposed to spend, where you are spending the budget on, quarterly you are supposed to report to a committee who appraise what you have done. They are not following any of those things right now. Practically breaking the law. But you have somebody in Peter Obi, he has said repeatedly, because I will not take anyone that takes under me, not just be fired, will be prosecuted. So that can change everything. The last time I told you about, you saw the video about the El Salvador president who was talking about education. Yeah. Chief Awolowo said that so many years ago. Obasanjo was saying that out of school children. Pastor Chris Oyakhilome says, these children under the bridge now, if they are 10 years today, you add another 15 years to them, they'll be 25. 1999, when this Fourth Republic started, children that were born then are how old now? 27. So imagine they were 5 years then. They're about 32 now. The people, Boko Haram, all those militant agitators, how old are they? So that's the challenge. So you fix education from day one. Following just the SDG. He will fix education from day one. Fix health. We're talking about training institution for security agents. If you tackle all those things, you might not be able to solve the criminals today, like the El Salvador president said, those that have been raping people and are doing all that are over 20. You can't do much about it, but start with the younger ones today. And for Peter Obi, who's going to be a role model, you have heard him say, from when he was in higher institution, he was living in his house, he had a shop in school, year 1, the car he drove, year 2, the kind of car he drove, year 3. So he's a trader. He knows how to account for every dime. The number one thing he will have for himself is accountability. That's the credibility he's taking to the villa. And if you have a head that knows where he's going to, and says, I'm not touching public funds, every other person will follow. That's how we can get the system. Okay, let me just quickly add, when we're talking about this terrorism thing. Chief Awolowo was jailed for terrorism act, but it was a political solution that the government brought him out. So,
because Chief Awolowo was not a terrorist, everybody knew. He never incited
anyone to do anything. You see, we talked about the law earlier. We talked about the law earlier.
The point is that I was making just of the Mohammed Abacha case. They are not similar because Chief Awolowo was a political frame. But back to the issue of Peter Obi before it escapes my mind. How is he going to deal with the National Assembly?
That's just more.
You know, he was impeached when he was governor.
Now, you see,
because he was not sharing the money.
Absolutely.
How will he deal with the National Assembly?
That's what the young people see in him. But when people keep talking about the obedience of young people, they are not. I'm not a young person. I was a member of NEC, the highest organ of my political party, of my party, then PDP. But I saw these qualities in Peter Obi, and I started speaking up that I was supporting him. I became obedient. Professor Patutomi, he's one of the senior obedience we have.
Respected intellectual.
So there are so many of them like that, you know. So I will tell you, he will not be impeached because he will do the right thing, and you will, because of the mass following that will take him there. No National Assembly member will dare do otherwise. And I have said earlier, some of the things he will do, following the SDG, which he did in his state. When you take care of schools, take care of the health institutions, maybe have health insurance for elderly people and the young people, maybe to age 18, from 0 to age 18, free medical attention. And then from 60, they call them senior citizens, free medical attention. Then you fix this institution, not just giving them free. There will be, I brought a bill that says minimum standard in our health institutions. If you have all that and the public schools are well taken care of, you have teachers that are well paid and all, the pressure that the National Assembly members are going through now will vanish.
Nice place to anchor. We can go on and on, but there will be enough time to further interrogate, you know, the campaigns, when the campaigns start full blast, even the candidates and all of that. But it's been a pleasure, as always, having you.